Crypto can feel like the Wild West sometimes with scams, hype, and massive risk. But there is a safe way that you can invest in crypto. And there are 3 incredibly easy strategies that you can use straight away to make great profits as safely as possible. So first, making the right choice of cryptocurrency to invest in. At the moment, where do you currently get your information from when you're deciding what to buy? Maybe friends or family, influencers? Well, what if I told you that you can tap into research worth millions of pounds to buy the smartest brains in finance, and you can get it completely free by looking at crypto ETFs? There are 2 cryptocurrencies that are in ETFs. If Wall Street thinks these cryptocurrencies are safe enough to put in an ETF, there's a pretty good chance that they're not a scam. So what are ETFs? ETF just means exchange traded fund. Think of it like a basket of investments. Instead of buying every single investment separately, you're buying a big basket of them. And buying one stock of each of those 500 would take a lot of money and time. But if you just bought one slice of that ETF, you own a tiny piece of all of those 500 companies. But ETFs are run by huge financial companies like BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard. And these companies have teams of analysts and millions of dollars and decades of experience of research. So when they choose to put something in an ETF, you know they've done their homework. And this is what we're going to use to our benefit. So which cryptocurrencies are already in ETFs? Well, right now, there are only 2 cryptocurrencies that are in ETFs, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin was the first to get approved in 2024, and you can now buy Bitcoin in a range of ETFs, like IBIT from BlackRock, for example. IBIT has pulled in $20 billion just this year. That's a lot of institutional money flowing into Bitcoin. Ethereum got approved in 2024 as well. And there are lots of ways that you can buy Ethereum through an ETF. And Ether from BlackRock has seen 8.6 billion in inflows this year. And it's actually been outperforming Bitcoin ETFs recently. And that's it. It's just Bitcoin and Ethereum that you can buy. If you're a complete beginner who wants to play it safe, then these are your only options right now for crypto that's passed that institutional safety test. So you could buy into an ETF, and you could do this through a broker or an investment account. And that could be your exposure to crypto. But buying into an ETF is very different than owning crypto directly. And many investors want to own crypto and keep it themselves. So let's say you've gone ahead and you've opened up a Kraken or a Coinbase account, and you've followed smart money and you've bought ETH and Bitcoin. But what next? Is that enough? And this brings us to our second strategy, diversification. You need to be diversifying your portfolio so you don't have all your eggs in one basket. In 2025, more cryptocurrencies are poised to get approved for ETFs. And these are cryptos you might want to add to your portfolio. So let's have a look at these. The top contenders for inclusion in the future is Solana. Companies like Franklin Templeton, Bitwise, Fidelity, and others have filed amended registration statements for spot Solana ETFs in July 2025. And this is a big deal. When this many major players file, it usually means approval is likely. Second is XRP, a $130 billion market cap. XRP is the top of the wish list for many investors. Third is Litecoin. Litecoin is another top prospect for an ETF approval. And Litecoin is a bit like Bitcoin's little brother, often called digital silver, to Bitcoin's digital gold. You may want to consider adding these cryptocurrencies to your portfolio to diversify. And that's what brings us to our final strategy, timing. When should you buy to be the safest investor? Should you buy the cryptocurrency before or after it's approved by an ETF? When a crypto gets ETF approval, prices usually jump. And that means that getting in early is riskier, but it can also lead to bigger profits. On the other hand, buying when an ETF is approved, it's safer, but you could miss out on huge gains. And we need a bit more information to make a decision on this. So let's have a look at what Bitcoin and Ethereum did once they got ETF approval. You can see on this screen that when Bitcoin got approved in January 2024, there was a 5% increase in value. By March, it had increased by 37%. There were ups and downs since then, but since approval, Bitcoin's price has skyrocketed. Ethereum was given approval in May 2024, and the price dropped a little bit, but since then it has skyrocketed and it has gone up 40% in this month alone, for example. There have been huge increases in the value of these cryptocurrencies once approval is given, but ultimately it's safer to buy once they have been approved, not before. It's your call to decide where you stand on the risk to reward spectrum and whether you would prefer to buy before an ETF has been approved and get those gains possibly, or buy it after approval and feel safer in doing so. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on these approaches and whether you're going to get involved in ETFs or possibly cryptocurrency directly. And if this helped you understand crypto investing a little bit better, hit the like button and subscribe for more beginner-friendly crypto content. Remember, start small, stick to ETF approved or ETF likely cryptos, and never invest more money than you can't afford to lose. The goal isn't to get rich overnight, it's to stay safe while you learn about cryptocurrency and the investment in that market. See you in the next one.